Latina or Latinx. It does not matter if you are a poor white person. All marginalized people, they are coming for all of us. It is all of us against them. It is literally all of us against the 1% and the punk ass security, aka police, that protect them and their property.
Mm. Yeah, and I think we've talked about obviously cop cities on this network. You are, in collaboration with a multitude of community members to stop Cop City in Atlanta and everywhere else on this occupation. They're building these institutions. They have been. It's not. This is not something that's new. What is new is what we talked about before we got live. We went live. Is that fascism has always been here. It might have changed its name. It might have, took on a different skin color, but it has always been here. It has always been prevalent. And I think that that is, to me, the most surprising thing and the most shocking thing that I have seen is that we have been telling these white folks, we have been telling these settlers that fascism is not on the rise. It is here.
Yeah.
It is here. Now we are seeing the climactic events that normally take place when you have militarized fascism, like martial law, curfews,
Mm-hmm.
roads,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh a little bit because it's like you guys aren't fucking serious. Excuse my French. Sorry, Natasha. Y'all ain't serious. And I think that it's very, very jarring at this point because we know who is going to do the work. And if I'm being honest with you, I already knew who was going to do the work because you settlers don't know how to do your own work. We've seen 500 years of that where my ancestors had to make your meals, had to breastfeed your children, had to teach your children how to read, had to teach your children what vegetables and fruit and milk and all this other types of things look like. So
Absolutely.
I know who's going to fix this. It will be Pan-Africans. It will be the indigenous population. It will be those Washishos, also known as white folks, that won't the ones that actually know what's going on and actually take the time and they don't cower to their white pathology, will know what's going on. Shout out to the Rise Up crew. I just want to say I didn't know that it was unlisted, the video, so that's why we had like barely any viewers in here. So I had to fix that. Welcome everybody to the show. I want to say thank you to everybody. Really does mean a lot for you guys to tune in. Again, my name is Isaac Jasper. This is Kiana Jones Moore. We are, again, members of Black Power Media Reloaded, and this is the Rise Up Morning Show. If you were looking for other guests, tune in on a different day. Sorry. Oh snap! No, but you made some valid points. And I think moving forward, we can't keep asking these people to play nice.
Yeah.
They're not playing nice. They're not when they're building $100 million institutions. And we got people like such and such saying that because something's $100 million dollars, we can't tear it down. That makes no sense to me. Um, that makes
No
no
sense at all. No
makes.
sense at all. And the other thing is, who built it?
Mm,
Who built it anyway?
mhm.
Certainly, what I build with my hands, I can tear down if I don't want to.
That part. That part. We're living in an age right now where, again, organization versus mobilization. We're gonna get into actually in a video with Teray. The
Yeah.
difference between the two, how you can be both, how you can be one or the other. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we need mass organization. Um, that comes from the backs of the people. That comes from the plight of the people. And
Mhm.
we have to consistently keep advocating for the right organizations too. We can say go and join an organization, but that would be ignorant. Join specific organizations. Join.
Oh my goodness. Anthony took the bail funds out for me. Anthony, oh my goodness. You got the bail funds out for me. I appreciate that though. I definitely appreciate that. What I'm gonna say is that, you know, I'm just gonna do whatever I have to do. Gonna do what has to be done.
Mm,
And I don't have a lot of respect for so-called authority. So this
and-
law enforcement stuff, that's
mhm.
not, it's not my deal. So that's, I appreciate you. I appreciate you because, if we need it, we need it. I really don't make a lot of noise out here in these streets. I just don't take no shit neither. So, you know.
I'm gearing up myself. I have a comrade in I have comrades all over, and so you'll see me where you'll see me. I'll just leave it at that because I'm not gonna give these feds any amount of energy. And we shouldn't. All of this should be strategized. What we are seeing happening in Los Angeles right now is a byproduct of a perpetual cycle that we have not properly contradicted,
Absolutely.
dismantled. We have not properly put in a position to hold itself accountable. So, what are we going to get? We were dealing with ICE back when George Floyd was alive. George Floyd is no longer here. We were dealing with ICE when Tamir Rice was here. Tamir
That's
Rice
right.
is no longer here. We were dealing with ICE when we had that chicken shit asshole by the name of Cesar Chavez that was literally imprisoning his own people, calling them wetbacks and stuff. We were dealing with ICE then. My people, I know what these individuals have to go through, and it's not just the day laborers, it's not just the fast food drivers, it's the people that go out there and they work out in the fields. My dad was one of these individuals. Now, is my dad undocumented? No, my dad is not, but my dad has worked with these people. I have grew up with people who have been undocumented, who have given me things that my parents could not provide because of capitalism. So I will always stand in
Mhm.
solidarity with these people. I will always stand in solidarity with my people as an indigenous Californian. I don't fucking agree with what's going on in California at all. I don't agree with California being called California. That's where I'm at right now. That's where a lot of us
Start right
people,
there. Let's start right there.
yeah, like we're in a time period where we cannot keep shucking and jiving, beating around the bush, playing a Stevie Wonder song and acting like things is okay. We cannot keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this. Some of our beautiful and brightest minds that have advocated for the life, liberation, for sovereignty, like Sly Jones, will not get to see that.
Look, I am also at the point where we have to stop giving undocumented people worth based on the work they do
That
or
part.
the fact that they quote unquote contribute. There's something really wrong in that. There's something really wrong in that. There's something that just doesn't sit right with me
Mm-hmm,
in that entire narrative because people are people. And yes, there are some people who are extractive. We get that across the spectrum, undocumented and documented people, right?
mm-hmm,
We get that from people who are quote unquote US citizens, whatever that means. We get that from all people, right? Some people who are extractive, some people who are productive, some people who will just go with the flow and want to stay under the radar, some
mm,
people who do extraordinary shit. But we just have to stop attaching worth based on what people produce because that shit is
mm-hmm.
capitalistic too.
Well, exactly. And we can't keep acting like, unfortunately, I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I don't care. As much as I love the fact that, we got all these books from the 1800s that we can rely on. We got people like Kwame Ture that already compiled on that. We have people like Patrice Lumumba who have already compiled on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sankara, Cabal,
Mm-hmm.
Maurice Bishop, the list goes on. CLR James, Gerald goddamn Horn. Like we like come on. Like we cannot keep advocating for a way of life that was only suited and was only designed for the industrialization of the European fucking world.
That's right. And look, Anthony, I hear you on this because many of us have grown up around undocumented people. Some of them became documented.
Yes.
And yes, they have a serious disdain for Black folks. And that's something that we
Yep.
cannot leave out of the conversation, right? We have to be able to address these things. And I think that my issue with many people who talk about revolutionaries and how it is that we move and how we do things, they want to say let's sing kumbaya, without addressing the fact that some people don't want to hold each other's hands.
Mm.
We have to talk about these things. We have to address it. We have to call it out. And then we have to move forward in a reparative way and see, if people can work together. Because I feel you, Anthony. I'm not working with nobody who don't want to work with me, period.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, when we are talking about overarching issues of solidarity, yes, I'm there for all of those things. And in doing so, in being there, we do owe it to ourselves. We owe it to movement to make sure that we address these contradictions. We have to address the issues that there are people who we are out here fighting for who would spit on us if they could.
Yeah, and I just want to be very clear. That prejudice nature that you see being exhibited from both sides. I'm Afro Indigenous, okay? On one side of my family, I have indigenous roots from Mexico. I have indigenous roots to California, and I have also on another side indigenous roots to Africa from our motherland. I grew up in a very prejudice ass environment on both sides of my family. So I know this ain't no one-sided shit, and we need to stop acting like it is. Capitalism, colonialism, neo-colonialism especially is what we're talking about here. Is when they take colonial aesthetics and they reapply them to be prejudiced to someone else to reinforce the tools of colonialism onto someone else. We can no longer keep advocating for this type of behavior. Yes, there are people out there that probably are Mexican, that are probably come from Mexican descent. They probably hate my skin. They probably hate that I'm mixed gendered. That I'm mixed. They hate all of it. They hate all of it. That I'm mixed race. I just had to clear that up. I'm not mixed gendered. Uh,
But if
uh,
you were, it's
but if I
okay.
was, there's no issue, for it. I'm so sick and tired of us consistently perpetuating what the system wants us to do. We are giving the system a water break, a lunch break, and they're watching us eat each other alive while they go and they create legislation that demonizes both of our communities at the same time.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
our next goal is to, regardless of how we see other people, that does not mean that all people who are from that heritage, who are from that walk of life, are like that. I cannot be ignorant to that. I will take the words of Malcolm X and I will fight intolerance with intolerance. As you are intolerable to me, then my intolerance to you is, guess what? I'm going to surround myself with a mixed group and you're going to hate it. You're going to hate
Mm-hmm.
it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you hate it. I'm glad that you do, because you have identified yourself to me before I had to go and make out some time, some energy, some effort to figure out if your ass was chicken shit. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Uhuru to everyone in the chat. I see Jeff is here, Anthony, right here,
We got to keep
Ariana.
vetting who's our friends and who ain't. Look,
Exactly.
Anthony
Exactly.
says, we don't have enough time to keep vetting, who's our friends and who aren't. I think that I feel what you're saying at the level that I believe you are, Anthony. But I think that vetting is a continual thing. Vetting also becomes easier with a different level of discernment after you've been around and been doing some things. But we have to make sure that we are selective about who comes into our sphere. We have to be selective about even the things that we stand up for and go out to. And when I say stand up for and go out to, I mean physically go to, when we are talking about a protest, a demonstration, an action. We talked yesterday about being strategic about things. We mentioned about how it's not the most dangerous thing to go to a protest of 5,000 people surrounded by a bunch of cops. It might look scary, and yes, some stuff is going to happen, but what is that doing for our plight overall when we all go to the same place at the same time? There is something to be said for being able to stick and move where they can't really keep up with us, they being the powers that be in the state. I do believe also that as we are thinking about, especially right now, actions and demonstrations to attend, that we do need to think about, one, your geographic location, what is going on where you are physically. Two, what is happening within movement spaces in your area. How are people moving? Who is the person that's hosting this, or the organization that's spearheading some stuff? I mean, I'll be very honest and let y'all know, I don't have no energy for this No King's Day shit coming up this weekend. I don't care. Indivisible ain't no friend of mine. Like, these people are legends.
Walmart millionaires that have
Yeah.
invested in this. Word had just got out that in LA. Sorry to interrupt you, comrade. Too. I just wanted
No,
to
go ahead.
point this out. These millionaires are not our friends. Did we all lose as Pan Africanists the understanding of petty bourgeois and what they are and what they produce and how they indoctrinate and gentrify communities and they work with the oppressor?
Right, right.
So me seeing a truckloads of these $60 masks that you can only buy in bulk at Walmart, and it just so happens that Walmart is funding the No Kings rally. They are, again, you are not understanding the assignment here. Is that we should not be buddying up to these individuals. I don't care if they're giving out free stuff. They're only giving out free stuff because they want fucking chaos. And
Absolutely.
you guys don't understand the difference between anarchism and chaos. See, you mix the two together and you expect a black anarchist like myself to just allow you to do it. No, I'm not going to allow you to
Say that
disrespect.
shit.
I'm not going to allow you to disrespect those that have came here, those that have built, those that have gone elsewhere. The Zapatista movement, which opened Ashanti Alston's eyes, who is a viewer of this show, opened his eyes and opened then my eyes to black anarchism. Not
Come
that
on
white
now.
ass
Talk about it.
anarchism
Talk
that
about it.
that
Talk
white
about
ass
it.
anarchism that y'all see out on the street. No, that's not me. That's not anarchism
Look,
to me.
a lot of people believe that anarchy and chaos are synonymous, and they are absolutely not. They are antonyms. They do not mean the same thing. They are the exact opposite.
That
In
part.
order to achieve anarchism, there is a very systematic approach that has to be taken. There are systems and processes involved, and that requires mass political education of the people. That involves a socialist system where everyone is fed and has proper
Mm.
resources to be stable, and self sustainability is a large part of that. There is absolutely zero chaos involved in anarchy, and I think that the mainstream media, the right wing, has done a very good job of deluding us into thinking that anarchy.
Marxists have done this.
Say that shit too. You
I am
right.
a
You
decolonial
right.
Marxist. I'm not going to sit here and act like, again, people need to know the history. Kropotkin, Marx, Hegel, all of these dudes used to hang out with each other. Okay, minus Hegel. Hegel might have been a little bit older than them, but Engels, Marx, Kropotkin, all of these individuals. So if you don't know who Kropotkin is the one who essentially fostered this white anarchist, or compiled on anarchism. And people take that shit and they like to act like there isn't an Ashanti Alston, or there isn't any of these other individuals
Right.
that have compounded on this and really fortified a thought process and a cohesive ideology for the African masses that is black anarchism. I am friends with a bunch of black anarchists. I am a black anarchist, That's something that I've never steered away from. I'm a decolonial. Marxism is a methodology, so you're stupid if you think that I'm gonna, just putting that on there, as the end all be all. It's not. It's not at all. Uh, there's a reason why when people bring up the Zapatista movement, some Marxists get a little, uncomfortable. And it's because the Zapatistas actually did something that the Marxists have been preparing for. Marxists have been preparing for hundreds of years, for over 200 years now. Zapatistas actually did it. Zapatistas are still doing it. Education system, schools, grocery stores, town hall meetings, for which, if you're of the age of 13, you have a say-so in what goes on in your community, because guess what? You're going to be heading this community as soon as all of these older heads are gone. That's just a cycle that we have to respect, the 7
Absolutely.
generations,
And support.
Yeah. we're not in a position right now where we can continue to allow people to distort real work, real life experiences, and expect for them to be no accountable effort for that. um we've been talking for 30 minutes now. We got that got that out.
Once
Just
you
be
get me going.
just for the viewers, be very cautious on when you hear rhetoric like that this isn't our fight. Well, when was our fight, since you know the answers to the test that we all are trying to figure out right now?
Look, I gotta uplift Jason's point, about bringing U.S. flags and kids' activities to the protests. I see some of this stuff, and as a person who is, I have a deep love for children. I firmly believe in training up the next generation and making sure that they are equipped and prepared. But I also draw a line because
Mm,
this is such thing as common sense. And it's some shit that you just don't take your children to. I'm sorry. Specifically, if they are under a certain age. Taking a US flag to a protest where you are protesting the very US government that oppresses you is dumb. If you ain't taking that flag to burn it, what you doing? Like
exactly.
I just
I was
I,
go ahead, sorry.
no, I was just gonna say a lot of these things are just so baseless, and it's simple shit that people take for granted, and the ones who are doing it will try to make you believe, oh, this is an intergenerational fight, this is about capitalism and we have to fight back against the 1% and blah 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 blah. You'll say capitalism but you won't say colonialism.
Mm,
You'll say capitalism but you won't say imperialism. You'll say capitalism, but you won't use the words racialized or extractive.
mm,
And that is how we know that you are just another liberal looking for attention. Like,
mhm.
literally, Anthony said it. Common sense ain't so common. You know, my granny used to say it all the time, but I will digress and get
Said
off the
it.
soapbox at this point. I just want to give another shout out to everybody who is with us this morning. Anthony, Jason, Jeff, all of the uprisers. Y'all know y'all keep us going. Y'all are literally the reason. Because if y'all didn't want to listen to us, what would we just be
What
doing?
are we doing here?
We
What are
would
we
just,
doing here?
hop on the phone. Thanks, Ayana, for being here all the time. And yeah, I think now is a good time for that Black Power up as we get
Yes.
ready for our guest to come on.
Yes, our guest should be here at the 6:30 mark. We will be having Luis Aguero, who is the USC encampment dad, or USC dad. Is he got you know well, he got famous off of it, and me and him were talking about it. And he was like, "I don't even really know how, but it is what it is. I'm here for Palestine. I'm here for my African brothers and sisters. I'm here for solidarity." He's someone who I've grown to really deeply respect, because he understands that there are children that were a part of that, and they're children. Let's just be, they when your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed, you are still a child. Okay, these were children that took on a brave act, took on a brave act of resistance. And he was there for those who didn't have a family, whose family was across the country and was trying to figure out how they were going to make sure that their child was safe. He made sure they were safe. So while people are out here trying to distort and create false narratives that deeply indulge in patriarchal racist ass behavior, uh there are individuals like him, like Luis, that have been here for decades and have helped out in ways that even a settler wouldn't help out. So I just wanted to obviously shout him out, get him on here. He was at the protests and the resistance that is continuing in LA. And we're calling it resistance because, again, I'm a Pan Africanist, and what we are seeing happening right now is we are seeing struggle meet a climactic scene, meet we're seeing them being met with what they should be met with. And what we need now is we need for those that had advocated, and you got your 20,000 followers on Twitter and shit, you know, and you got all these you got all this stuff that you know how to write down, you know how to cite in your dissertations on Twitter and Instagram and all of that, and your memes. Put your boots on now, put some gloves on, get a mask, an N95 mask, hide your face, get your asses out there now. There is no time for us to keep acting like we can just, or you specifically, individuals that I'm speaking to, where your perpetual ass nature and the way that you move, thinking that individuals like me, Kiana, and other community members that actually help and actually give a shit, we're no longer going to allow you to hide behind the cameras that you have. No longer. Take them cameras out there and start documenting these police officers and stuff so we can start doxing these assholes. That's where we're at now. This is guerrilla warfare. There's a book that Che Guevara left for us, which gives us a whole layout of what to do, how to do it, when to do it, when not to do it, favorable, unfavorable. Tactics war, tactics when it's necessary to use terroristic tactics. What is actually terroristic tactics?
We talked about that yesterday. Strategy. How it is that we move. Everybody don't fight the same way, but we all got to do it together.
Exactly. And if you're not in a position to be out there physically, if you are a disabled comrade, bail funds, mutual aid groups, going to an organization and saying, can I help out with just phone calls? I will put pressure on these immigration, calling geo fucking group institutions where our comrades are being held at. I didn't say this, but I should have said it in the comments after the live yesterday that I was supposed to be a part of, so I'm holding myself accountable. I was supposed to be here yesterday and I was not. We'll get to that. This is a different story, different day. You could go to the sides of railroads and where lumber yards are at, and where they strap the lumber on the rail on the rail track with is a thick aluminum grade. We should be creating spikes. There's things that we could be doing that are far more effective and that make it to where the people who are being affected in the communities that they're from do not leave their fucking communities. And we don't allow these ICE officers to leave their communities. That's where we're at now. I've been staying up twice, 2 days in a row, screenshotting where there's ICE at early in the mornings where they're prepping at. They were in the city that I grew up in Ontario, California, helping out till 2 a.m, screenshotting, sharing this way, getting people that I know are going to be affected by this, but I know that work their asses off and have helped people. They ain't racist, and even if they were, there is no reasoning behind us putting a worth behind someone's life. These individuals have been here, have had that right to be here since birth, all of us. So I'm not looking at this as they're worth a document. No, they're not worth a document. They're worth their damn life. That's where we're at now. So either you're willing to fight for your life, you're willing to fight for other people's lives. If you're not, then, and you call yourself a Pan-Africanist, I want to know what chapters of Pan-Africanism you read. Please let me know so I know not to read them, or to read them so I can critique it. But that's where we're at now. It's far. We're far from it. I guess I got in trouble. We'll go to break, y'all. We'll be back.
I'm in trouble. Uh-oh.
But just because they're unconscious, you shouldn't think they don't want freedom. As a matter of fact, sometimes the unconscious is quicker willing to give their lives in struggle than the conscious. These are simple facts. Would you imagine what it would be like when we are conscious rebellious, when we consciously organize to rebel in Los Angeles with reason? I mean, making supply lines, making sure armaments are there, having hospital aids, having fire brigades, just like they do even in Ireland. Nothing big, just a little planning. Just a little planning. This is what we want to speak to you about this evening. Making the unconscious conscious. Now, we must say from the very beginning, the only, underline the word only, the only route to consciousness is through struggle. Now, for example, we've shown you the unconscious struggle. Those who rose up in righteous rebellion against the state police in Los Angeles, they were consciously involved in struggle. They were involved in struggle, unconscious but involved in struggle. The conscious must understand precisely what their task is, and we've said this 2 years ago here, we repeat it. Ours is not to teach the people to be conscious, but to make them conscious of their unconscious behavior. Our task is not to teach the unconscious to be conscious, but to make them conscious of their unconscious behavior. Because unconsciously, instinctively, they seek freedom. What we must do is make them conscious. Look, you want freedom anyway. Let's be serious. Let's sit down. Let's plan it. Let's wage protracted war, and let's tear down the system and walk on to liberation. It's as simple as that. This aspect of the unconscious becoming conscious is linked to mobilization and organization, something we mentioned last year. We must make clear distinctions between mobilizers and organizers. To be an organizer, you must be a mobilizer. But being a mobilizer doesn't make you an organizer. Much confusion is to be found here. Malcolm X was a great mobilizer. He was a great organizer. Martin Luther King was a great mobilizer. He was not a great organizer. These facts can be easily seen from King and Malcolm. When Malcolm went to a place, he left a mosque. When King went to demonstrations, he broke down desegregation and he moved on. As a matter of fact, King was not concerned with organization to the point that even though he was the most popular Baptist preacher in America, without the shadow of a doubt, and probably, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the most loved, he could not become president of the National Baptist Convention. Yeah, so many of them. The National Baptist Convention. As a matter of fact, if my memory serves me correctly now, and I remember it was Muhammad Speaks that carried the article on the front page in 1964, when King tried to become president of the National Baptist Convention. There was so much confusion there that a minister was actually pushed off the stage and died in the struggle. Yeah. And of course, King lost. The man who won was a reactionary man by the name of Jackson. He never did nothing for the people, never cared about the people, just was a pork chop minister who used their money to put gas in his big Cadillac. But he was organized. We say that we must come to know the difference between mobilization and organization because the enemy will use mobilization to demobilize us. Mobilization is very easy, very, very easy. Because since we're people who are instinctively ready to respond against acts of injustice, anytime there's one little act of injustice, we can blow it up and we'll find people who come and make some mass demonstration around it. Miss Sally lost her job. Let's rally. She will get her job back. People will come and rally. So-and-so got kicked out of school because the teacher's unjust. The people will come and rally. They will come to rally at issues. And this is what mobilization does. It mobilizes people around issues. Those of us who are revolutionary are not concerned with issues. We're concerned with the system. The difference must be properly understood. The difference must be properly understood. Mobilization usually leads for reform action, not to revolutionary action. If we would look scientifically at the October 16th million and more march, we would see clearly that this was a mobilized event, not an organized event. We must know clearly the difference between mobilization and organization. One of the characteristics of mobilization is that it is temporary. Organization is permanent and eternal. Clear differences must be made because the unconscious can usually be captured easily around one-issue items, around mobilization items, but it's hard to catch them around organization. But these unconscious must be brought to organization. We must transform mobilization to organization. We say the enemy will come and use mobilization to demobilize us. Many brothers and sisters who've been to the Million and More March will say to you, I was there. Well, what are you doing today, my sister? I was there. There weren't too many sisters out there, but you know, with 1 million brothers together, you know where I had to be. I was there. Yes. And then, of course, you find brothers, yeah, I was there. I helped you. What are you doing today, brother? If we're not careful, we allow mobilization to become events. The struggle is never an event. It's a process, a continual, eternal process. We say it is our job to use mobilization to drive us to organization. You know our theme is organization. We want power. We don't want money. We don't want fame. We don't want fortune. We don't want popularity. We want power. Power. And power comes only from the organized masses. Power comes only from the organized masses.
All right, we are back. Ooh, you're muted.
We are back.
There we go. Now we can hear
Hey.
you. Now we can hear. And that was a Black Power up. I hope you guys like the new graphics. Yes, that is from Canva, so do not bother me. We are rolling. To clarify, we will not, and moving forward, be advocating. I am not advocating for anybody to do anything. I am just throwing shit out into the ethernet. You can listen to me or not listen to me, but I will be, you know, toning it down a little bit so that we don't get ourselves in trouble over here. But just to show you guys this the seriousness. As much as I love to giggle, principal giggles, as much as I love to actually, we had to be more, you know, I had a little slip up, so I just have to I caught myself. I didn't catch myself.
Yeah.
Kalanji caught. So.
Well, I also want to uplift this comment from Anthony because this goes in line with a lot of what we talked about yesterday and part of what Kwame Ture in that clip was talking about. And Anthony has the sentiment that many of us have about quote unquote organizations, and betrayal is a real thing. COINTELPRO is a real thing. Counterinsurgency is a thing. And when we think about it, I know better than a lot of people, having been here really in the movement to stop Cop City, that we probably had more cops showing up at shit than actual revolutionaries. You know, the infiltration is real. And a lot of people don't know it. You know, we get excited a lot of times because we're organizing and we're mobilizing people and we're doing these things in the streets and it looks like things are happening. So we go and start a chat real quick on one of the so-called decentralized apps that we think is secure, but was actually developed by the CIA. Like we'll go and start a chat and we just start adding people. And oh yeah, I saw that brother on the street the other day and he had this sign. So I'm going to add him because he's down and blah, blah, blah. And that's a cop. You know, they're right there within our midst. They're listening to all of our plans. They're coming to the protest. Like we know you when you show up. But yeah, they are there and they're around. And many of us have been betrayed in these ways. And then beyond that, we have been betrayed by these so-called comrades and within organizations, right? And there are a few that I could name, but suffice it to say that there are organizations that bear the name of the great Malcolm X that have chapters around this country that don't live into who Malcolm X was. and the values that he espoused and the way that he moved with people in community. You know, many of these organizations are nothing but hotbeds for physical and emotional abuse. There's a lot of trauma that's suffered by people as they go through these organizations. So I definitely feel what you're talking about. And again, because we in movement get so uptight about calling people out and telling the truth about shit because we're too scared that, oh, this is gonna fracture the movement and this is gonna create unnecessary division, and let's not give
They're
the enemy
already
anything to
mitigate.
talk about.
They're already doing
Exactly.
these things, and this is why individuals need to understand. We know stuff about a lot of your favorite people that
Mm-hmm.
would make you disgusted.
Absolutely.
It would
And the
make you,
thing
and not
is,
disgusted as like in a nasty, they've been doing nasty physical thing. No, they've been doing mentally nasty things to people. They have indoctrinated hundreds of thousands of people into believing that they are for, that these people are for them. That's
absolutely.
cruelty. That's cruelty. That's a crime against fucking humanity if I didn't know what was. And the
Yeah.
fact that we have that mass indoctrination, that anti-intellectual behavior that runs prevalent through all of your favorite organizations, that needs to be addressed. Which is
It's big.
why we say, when we say organized, we don't mean just go to any other or any organization. No, we mean go to the right ones. I'll name two of them right now. Okay, Anarch Muerte and FTP movement, Black Power Media Reloaded. These are real organizations that help people, that feed people, that house people, that make sure people's lights stay on. These are real things that we do. Versus other organizations, you got to fill out a form, and then you got to go through a month process of learning some shit that a white man wrote in the 1800s. So you can get on a party line that hasn't changed in 40 fucking years, which means one of two things. They're either a fake ass organization that are cosplaying as liberationists, or they've missed the mark and they don't know where to start to get it back.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now. That's exactly where we're at right now. And so,
Pretty much.
with that being said, though, we have our guest here. I'm going to bring on Lázaro. Before I bring on Lázaro to the stage, I want to introduce Lázaro. Lázaro is a PSL member. Lázaro is also a documented, what would be classified as migrant, or comrade is what we're going to call him, because again, no one should be listed as documented or undocumented. We're all human beings. We're all individuals that deserve to be here by right, by birth. Lázaro is no stranger to me, so I'm happy to have who is also known as the USC dad, Lázaro Aguero, to the stage. Hello. I know it's early, comrade. What's going on?
Yes, fine. Thank you. It was a little hard to enter, but I am here finally.
Yes. I'm glad that the algorithm didn't mess with us today for to help capitalism out. Let's get to it. I want to introduce you first, Lázaro. This is Reverend Kiana Jones Moore. She deals in Atlanta and in multiple places as well, New York, regarding Stop Cop City, abolitionism, regarding our people, Pan-Africanism, solidarity. So we're all here for the same fight and for the same goal in mind, which is to end this for everybody, so that we can all get some more than 8 hours of sleep. We don't have to go to our 40-hour work, go work 40 hours for something, because we've already built it off of the primitive accumulation that's been stolen from us. Let's get right into it. If you can, Lázaro, just kind of explain what your just what your thoughts are with what's going on. I mean, this is not the first time you've seen militarized force be used in Los Angeles, but this is heavy. This is something that I think people need to take seriously.
Yes, the first time I saw it was with our brother Ronnie King, when he was brutalized by the police on those years, on the 90s. But this time, everybody is scared. Even though the people that they vote for Trump, regular people, they are totally scared because they never saw things like this. The students are scared, but they are brave. Even though they are scared, they are really brave because they are going to the streets to protest. What we are seeing right now on the streets of Los Angeles with the National Guard, with a ton of police after we've been told that they were not going to get involved. It's something insane. You see the military guard, the National Guard, repressing the people, scaring the people with their cars, with their weapons, and their uniform. They were supposed to be behind criminals or protecting the country, not behind our people. Everybody, really, to be honest with you, even though myself, I know what's happening. I've been in the protest every day since this started like 4 days ago. It's really scary.
Mhm.
Where one thing is that you know that the bomb, and when something explodes, makes a big sound. But one thing is to be in it. And when the police is shooting rubber bullets and tear gases, and it's scary. And every time that the police is like a war zone, but I know it's nothing compared with what's happening in Palestine, but it's like a war zone, and always come to my mind what the people in our brothers and sisters in Palestine are living every single day with real bombs, destroying buildings, everything. And I says, man, we were fighting for Palestine for so long, and we knew they were going to come after us sooner or later, and they are here right now. The system is after us and trying to divide us, but we are not divided. We are more united than ever, more united. It's one of the marches that protects in favor of the immigrants against all the raids that the ICE is doing against our people. All the communities here, Asian people, Anglos, Black people, Latinos, from all ethnicities, we are together, united against the system, against what Trump is doing. So basically, nothing is going to stop us. We are going to keep on going. They are threatening people, that they are taking pictures of all the people that are on the protests, everything. The youth are over there. The parents are over there. We are there. We know the risk. We know the threats. But if we don't do something now, imagine what's going to happen to our future generations, to our grandkids, everything. That's why we are here, because this is not a matter of the immigration laws, everything. It's the way that Donald Trump is treating our community. It's the way that Donald Trump is diminishing our community, when he knows, and everybody knows, that California, and especially Los Angeles, half of the population, we are Hispanic, we are Latinos. So basically, to attack us and tell that in Los Angeles lives criminals, it is attacking to everybody, all of us. And we know, as back in Los Angeles, there is no family that doesn't know, or that doesn't have a relative or a friend or a co-worker or a neighbor that doesn't have documents. We don't call illegals, we call them undocumented. People that are on the process, or for any reason, they decide to leave their countries to come to the United States. And as a human being, we have to defend every single one, every single one. Once I was an immigrant, I came when I was a teenager. I got my citizenship, everything. And I will never forget who I am, where I come from. Now, more than ever, people like me, that we are now citizens, and people like that they were born here, we are protesting against all the things that Trump is doing, against all the things that I don't know to call him president, but I don't know what he is. He is destroying our community. But on the other hand, we have to be honest and people, the system know what they are doing. But we have to do what we have to do. Get united and fight against that. We are not going to let them remove the rights that the past generations fight for. We have so many rights, and this guy overnight they want to remove our rights, and we are not going to let that happen.
Yeah, I'm glad that you bring that up. I want to go back to something that you brought up, which was, I get kind of tired of hearing people say, well, just go back to your country. Why can't you live in your own country? And then not properly understanding that what imperialism is, and how people from, whether it's from Peru, whether it's from Guadalajara, whether it's from Guatemala, wherever it's at in South America occupied territories, there are sanctions that are being in place and implemented on these countries that make it physically impossible, because of the puppet governments that have been put in place to appease capitalism, to appease America, which inevitably hurts an individual like yourself that's had to come here for a better life. If you could just break down the ignorance of that, and just, do you get irritated when you hear stuff like that being said, especially in a time like this?
It's sad, but at the beginning I was deeply irritated, but now I understand those people. It's a lot of ignorance. They are being brainwashed by the media and the system. The system through the media are scaring people that they have to love the United States of America. They have to do or obey whatever the government says. But on the other hand, through years, I understood and I know that those people are being brainwashed. Why we are here? Why we decide to come to the United States? We don't come to the United States because we don't love our countries, because we don't love the place we were born. No, we came here because the United States, not only the United States, countries like Canada or the European countries like England or France, they go to our countries and they destabilize the governments. And what happened then? They go there, they corrupt the governments to steal our natural resources. They go and steal and destroy the systems, and the people, they have no opportunities there. Maybe there are some people that they will have the opportunities, but not all of them. The majority of our people don't have the opportunities. They steal our resources. We don't have opportunities. We have no choice to leave our countries. If they stop going after our countries, the natural resources of our countries, there is no need for the people to come to the United States. Yes, we have a clear example that is happening now. Burkina Faso, what happened there? Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, he decided to stop everything, that all forms of imperialism, exploitation from French. You see, and now the United States says that he's a danger of the region. Yeah, he can be a danger for the rich people, the ones that they were stealing all the natural resources from Burkina Faso. But he's good. Ibrahim Traoré is good for the people over there. And he's liberating, I hope my eyes can see that an Africa fully liberated, united against imperialism. I would love to see a United States of Africa, but with no intervention of Europe countries like France, UK, United States. And that's the reason we are here. And me as an indigenous people, I am indigenous people from Peru, Quechua, from the nation Quechua, and I feel that I have, even though I feel that I have more rights than a lot of people that they come from overseas, because of my relatives, I have relatives that their grandparents, they were born in New Mexico. So the grandparents of my kids, they were forced to be to the United States when they were living as a Mexican. They were forced to live as as an American or as a U.S. citizen. So they were forced. The United States go to their country, to Mexico, and I feel that the people like me, like us, we have more rights than the people that they invade us, that they steal this piece of land. But even though we know that happened like a century ago, we're willing to live in peace with everybody, with all our brothers and sisters from any ethnicity. But we are not gonna let. We won't let. We are gonna fight the way we can against the system, against fascism, against the people, the white supremacy that wanna diminish us. No, we are not gonna let that happen, because if we let that happen now, imagine what the system is gonna do to our grandkids, grandchildren. No, that's not gonna happen. I am not willing to, even though that our brothers that are not Latinos, they understand that, because they don't want their children, their grandchildren, to live in a community with hate, fighting each other. No, we want to live in a community. That's why it's called community, where
Yeah.
everybody's accepted. Yeah, we want to be accepted in my neighborhood. I have all kind of people from all kind of ethnicities, and we take care of each other. They know me in my neighborhood. They respect me because I always have on my car with my Palestinian flag and everything. And they respect me. And when I talk to them, I explain to them why I am doing that. And they know that I am on the protest, everything. And they understand that that's not right, what the government is doing. So basically right now in Los Angeles, we are fighting for dignity. We are fighting in honor of those who fought before us, because a lot of people died for us. A lot of people died for the rights that we have right now. The women have the right to vote. A lot of people die. People over here, the working class people have the right of 40 hours a week to work, because before was slavery. But a lot of people die in those days, fought for us, for to have the life or the rights that we have right now. A lot of people died before. So if we have to do that for the future generations, we're here on the line. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't want nothing bad happen to us, but the people understand that enough is enough. Enough is enough. They try to diminish the immigrant community, but when they go to the schools, to the graduation schools, to wait for the families to get up from the graduations and arrest them to be deported, no, that's not good. When they go to a hospital and remove a baby from the mother that was a delivery, that's totally inhuman, and I will never stand for that. I am a human being before being Latino, everything. I am a human being, and I have to show up my humanity. I cannot be okay. I will never normalize in my life that a parent that is taking their kids to the school get stopped by an ICE or the police and remove the kids from the parents and arrest them and handcuff the kids. No, I will never normalize that. I refuse to accept that. And that's why I will keep on being on the streets, keep on fighting, and trying to change all the things that are bad on the system.
Thank you so much for all of that. And thank you for uplifting Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso, because what you stated is so true, that any people who become independent, any people who have true self-determination and exercise it, are a threat to colonialism, imperialism. This is what we saw in this country during the time of the Black Panthers, when J. Edgar Hoover stated that they were the greatest threat to this country, simply because the Black Panthers gave people Kujichagulia. They modeled it. They made it so that we were interdependent. They were teaching us in community to be interdependent instead of dependent on the government. What the Black Panthers and the Young Lords were doing at that time were simply helping their people, showing us how to live together outside of the government, outside of their realm of possibility, to create and share resources among ourselves. And that is a threat to the government. That is the reason why you see the crackdown now. But you have also seen what's happened before. You were there at the time that Rodney King was brutalized by police. I remember being in elementary school and it hitting the news. And I remember people saying, there's no way they're going to get off for that. That's caught on camera, because Rodney King was our first time seeing things the way we did. These days, it's common to see things from body cam footage and other places because surveillance is such a thing now. But when the world saw Rodney King being beaten by those cops on camera, we thought, surely they won't get away with this because it's right here. There's evidence. You can't deny what's being done. But they did get away with it. And there was again widespread unrest. How does this time that we are in compare in your mind to what we saw at the time that Rodney King was brutally beaten and the cops walked free?
The conscience of the people grow up big time. Thanks to social media, we get to know what's happening on real time. Right now we see videos, the media is showing, oh, they are vandalizing, they are doing this, that. That's what they like to show. They are playing the system. But they don't show up when the police is threatening the people. The marches are peacefully. I've been there every day. I've been in front of the police, in front of the National Guard. But it's really peaceful protest. And suddenly, a police start shooting bullets to people that we are just over there together. And they start pushing the people, say, hey, we're protesting peacefully. So when the people get arrested brutally, everything, people will get upset. It's like on top of that, all the things that they are doing, they on the march, on the right that we have to march and to gather in public and free speech, everything. They want to come on top of that and treat us badly. No, it's not right. The people will react. And basically, these marches are being for thousands of people. And it's been so good. I feel good, and sometimes I try to cry when I am on the march. When I see an Anglo person, a white person, a lady, a man, telling the police, hey, we're here, they are working class people. Why you are doing this? Why you are to the National Guard? What you are doing here? You are here to defend our country, not to attack us. So the white people, our brothers and sisters from the Black community, our brothers and sisters from the Asian community, we are together. This is not just a matter. When Rodney King happened, our brothers and sisters from the Black community were the ones who started everything, because, man, they were showing us bravery, to be brave, to defend against all kind of abuse. On that time, and the police brutality, basically happened what happened to Rodney King didn't stop the police brutality. After that, we saw who died with a knee on the neck. Many more people have been killed by the police. That's why over here in Los Angeles, there is a big, in Los Angeles, the people doesn't like too much the police. Why? Because after Rodney King, we thought, okay, things are going to be cool off, are going to stop, they're going to make changes, everything. But they did. They keep on brutalizing the people. They keep on killing the people. But since then to now, people over here are more conscious. Even though people that doesn't wanna, they say they don't wanna get involved with politics, blah blah blah. This is a matter of what's happening right now. It's a matter of humanity, of saving the communities, and the conscience are growing big time, and it's gonna keep on growing. We have the what is we're gonna do over here? They are shooting us, and they are showing us with weapons, everything. We don't have that. This is a war zone. We're not going after them to fight, to damage them. No, we are here to express freely that we are against what Trump is doing. We are against of that. That doesn't represent the American people. That doesn't represent. So, and instead of the police to protect us like they were supposed to do it, they attack us. That's not right. So that's why I am so happy that you brought that up. People are getting more conscious. And thanks to the social media, thanks to the work that you are doing, now everybody has a phone. They do a short live, even though the TikTok, when they ban the lives from TikTok, just you are on live for a few minutes and they cancel the live video. But everybody has phones, and everything is recorded. It's not like they say, oh, they cannot try to lie to the American people, the ones that are not on the protest. They cannot do that anymore. We see it on live. If they try to make a lie, there is another video that will appear showing the truth. So that they unite us. Trump is uniting us more, all the community. He's trying to divide us, but he's uniting us more. It's like what I see on a large scale what happened in Palestine, and always I try to bring Palestine. They try to divide, destroy Palestine, but Palestine unite humanity, because wherever, in any country, in any city, always you will see a flag for Palestine, speaking up for them. So Palestine unite humanity. So right now, Trump, on the evil things that he's doing, is uniting all the community. And we're going to, from now on, we have a lot of work to do. And you have it, that you are on the social media, you have a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah. This is a very pivotal moment. We talked about organization, joining organizations, and I think right now, hearing people say that it isn't the right time, is I'm so done with that. We're you just expressed so many reasons why we need to come together. Reverend Kiana has expressed reasons why we need to come together. That this is a perpetual cycle. Me and you, Lázaro, all three of us on here, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. We're all indigenous, okay? Our bodies are being questioned. Literally, we are being questioned for if we are good enough for life. That like, this is a very pivotal moment where they are willing and able to use, and they've done it before, weapons of mass destruction against its people to inflict fear and to harm. So the best thing we could do is as you said, he wants to divide us, and it's not even just Trump. It's the corporate oligarchy that wants to destroy us. They want us to be bound by shackles and to be bound by pennies for hours work. And we're like, all of this is intertwined, whether it's the labor, whether it's the undocumented comrades, whether it's the addressing colonialism. It is all encompassed together. So I want to highlight,
don't forget the neoliberal agenda.
The neoliberal agenda, exactly. I want to highlight that you will not get this on CNN. You will not get this on MSNBC. You will not get this from ABC 7. You will not get this type of information, this type of sit down anywhere else besides Black Power Media Reloaded. So I wanted to take the time to queue up, subscribe, help out, share, and donate if you can, so that we can keep this work going, because we'd love to have Lázaro back on. And that only happens if we have the resources to be able to tell the stories, to tell people's true stories. I want to bring up someone, and I hope I don't get you emotional as I did last time, comrade. Che Guevara. is someone who's speaking to me every single day in my head right now. Guerrilla warfare is speaking to me. What do you say to those who feel that right now militarized resistance is needed from our front? What would you say to that? Being, I know you know, we talked in the past about, you know, your love and admiration for Che and what he did for South America before his inevitable assassination in Bolivia. If you could just explain how there are strategies that we could use that people like Che and Patrice and Thomas Sankara, and we're seeing it play out in Burkina Faso, be used for the people. If you could just explain, you know, or express, you know, how these words are important right now for strategizing.
In my case, the way I see this is when somebody fight for ideas, will never die. Che Guevara was assassinated many years ago, and he is still alive. There are so many Che Guevaras around the world, not only over here in Los Angeles in the United States. Che Guevara was born for millions, by millions. And I compare Ibrahim Traore with Che Guevara. He's the Che Guevara of Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
He's doing it, and he's fighting for the people. All the reasons why Che Guevara was fighting was for the good of the people. And Ibrahim Traore, he's doing that. And he's changing Burkina Faso. He's going to change little by little. He's going to change all Africa, not only Burkina Faso. And over here, the system tried to disappear all those icons for us, telling us bad stories that they are the worst people. No, but we know that history. We know what happened, and Che Guevara fought for the good of the people. And that's what we are doing right now. And there is one thing that he says, do not trust the system or do not trust the enemy, neither a little bit, nothing. Mm-hmm. And whenever they try to tell us, oh, don't do this, don't go to March, blah, 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 tell your representative to talk on. No, they cross the line. The system cross the lines. The system are trying to put us like a 50, 60, 70 years back. No. There is a state right now, I don't remember if it was in Nebraska or some state, that they are right now trying to pass a law that to hire a person that doesn't have documents in their house is illegal and they will be punished, blah, blah, blah. That happened when the slavery time. If you hire a slave that is running, blah, 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 it's against the law, blah, blah, what's going on? They keep on us, treating us like a mother slaves. No, they keep treating us like we are a low-class people. No, we cannot let that happen. That's why more than ever, Che Guevara and all those people, Malcolm X, people that die for our ideas for a better world are now more present than ever. And we see that in every young kid on the streets. Even though that people are getting to know, they don't know Che Guevara, but they are acting like him because they have humanity. And they embrace that idea of Che Guevara. Once they know him, they say, man, this is the way to do it. There were people that died before us fighting for this idea. So that gives us a lot of energy to keep on going. That never give up, never trust the system, never trust in this case. In my case, I stopped watching the media for so many years because they are part of the system. Mm-hmm. They want to put you in your brain, on your mind, what the system wants you to believe. And enough is enough. And now more than ever, please, do not trust the system, do not trust the media, nothing, neither a little bit, nothing. Trust media like a social media like this program, a lot of programs, a lot of brothers and sisters around internet are doing this job. We have to trust that, and we have to read books of Che Guevara, good people that they were assassinated. They gave their lives for us, and we're gonna do the same if we have to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I completely align with what you're saying is in regards to, well, everything that you said, but highlighting the most important part is that capitalism, and excuse my French, you guys, but capitalism fucked up. They thought that just because you killed somebody, that you killed the spirit, that you killed the goal, that you killed the mindset, the methodology, and you haven't. For those that don't know, Che Guevara is with us. He's on screen. He just looks a little different. He's in the, he has Kiana's beautiful face. He has Lazaro's beautiful face. He has my beautiful face. Has your guys' beautiful face as well. We're all embodiments of the people who we learn from. This will not persist unless we consistently keep contradicting the system that has alienated us from our own sovereignty. That's where we're at now. Is that they don't want to just take, and for the white settlers and that are here, that try and act like you're not a part of this and this is not your time to fight. You're going to see either you have one of two options: you join the oppressors or you join us. There is no other options. Exactly. There is no other options. We're not out of options. We are just running out of bushes to beat around at this point. There is no more. It is a flat plain for which there is no bushes, and the bushes that are left, there ain't no room for you to beat around because there's too many people doing it. So either you join the program and you join what's actually working and what will work, or you join the system that has oppressed you. It's very, very, very simple. I want to say thank you, Lázaro. I know that I told you you'd be on here for about 30 minutes. I want to say thank you for your time. I got a message. When can you be back so we could talk about some other stuff? That's
anytime. You just let me know anytime. I am basically right now. I am gonna take a rest. In the afternoon, we have to go back to the march, the protest, and we have to show up that that we are not afraid. We have to be careful because those guys are they're acting evilly, and we have to be careful. But they don't have to silence us.
Yes.
They are telling us that we don't have to use any flags but the American flag. No, I refuse to do that.
I don't like that. I don't like that rhetoric, because me and Kiana were literally just talking about this, and I just want to insert a little small thing. We shouldn't be displaying these flags. These flags embody colonialism. They embody the direct hatred that the system has invoked on us. And I know a lot of people like to use Fannie Lou Hamer, but if Fannie Lou Hamer was here, she would tell you to stop misusing her words to try and justify colonial agendas. We should not, just because she said that flag is draped in our blood and that our blood is in the soil, so quote unquote, that does not mean that she meant go out there and fly that flag. That's not what that meant. Just because you see
there's
Kendrick
a
Lamar,
lot of things draped in our blood that we don't carry around.
That part, a hoe.
Okay?
We should be carrying a shovel around. That is draped in our blood. We should be carrying a washcloth around. That is draped in our blood. It's ignorant to believe that. I believe that the flags that we should be carrying at these protests is the one that's behind Lázaro, the one that's behind me, the other one that's behind me. These are the flags that need to be displayed. The African flag. The Congo flag, the Sudanese flag, the West Papuan flag, every flag that currently right now is being occupied by Western imperialism, by global imperialism, needs to be represented at these protests, so that you see that what they want you to represent and what they want you to idolize is not even, it doesn't even make up 5 of the fucking bullshit stars and stripes that are on that damn flag. These flags that we are representing have more merit. They have more respect. They have more dignity than any flag that was created by a white woman who watched a bunch of slaves sew a flag together and then took credit for it the same way that a man took credit for inventing the light bulb. You didn't invent the light bulb. Nikola Tesla invented the coil for which you stole so that you can invent the light bulb. Let's just be fair. So I want to say thank you, Lázaro,
No,
for
thanks
coming.
to you, and please always the fight was for Palestine. Keep on being from Palestine. We're gonna keep on fighting for Palestine. If Trump or whoever try to take over Burkina Faso again, no, we're gonna keep on fighting for Burkina Faso, for any country, and we have to be together. We are one human being. We are gonna fight for a better world, and we're gonna be together.
Yeah,
Free
yeah,
Palestine always.
exactly.
And free Burkina Faso.
Thank you, Lázaro.
Yeah. You're gonna be highlighted in an article that I'm mocking up right now as we speak. I just needed the verbal conversation with you to be able to get a little bit of that. It's called ICE, Ignorant, Corrupt Evildoers. And so it's an article going over that in its steps, you know, the corruption, the ignorance, the evil doing that they do in those sectors. So I just want to say, you know, you'll be highlighted again. I'll probably be reaching out to you to give you credit, author's credit to that, since you'll be highlighted in your words. So yeah, thank you, Lázaro, for coming on.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the work that you are doing.
Thank you, Lázaro. I'll
Free
talk to you
Palestine.
later. All right, we're back. We gotta, I think we might have to end this a little early, don't you? We both got a dip, I think, both of us.
Yes.
I on screen again, I'm for holding myself accountable. I was late and I messed up on the time schedule, so we had less than what we had anticipated to work with. Just know that we do have some articles queued up that will still be relevant tomorrow, that we can get to. I'm going to shut my mouth so that I don't irritate Kiana any more than I have probably already have. So let me.
Shout out to Ikemba and also to Rakeem.
Yeah.
Love y'all again, to the entire Uprisers crew. We truly appreciate you. Really grateful for everyone who's been able to hop on to chime in. For those who will watch later, we do hope that you've gotten something and that you'll be back with us the next time we are here.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with, I believe, Fernando will be available, and hopefully Kalanji will be here. If not, someone will be here. We're back on a schedule. It's not the schedule that we are anticipating moving forward, but nonetheless, we are here. We are giving you guys analysis. We're giving you guys our personal thoughts, theory. Again, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, quarrels, you can put that shit in the comments, because we're about to leave. So want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to all of the uprisers. Thank you to every person behind the scenes that helped create this show, help make this possible. To all our Patreon subscribers, please support our Patreon at patreon.com/Black Power Media Reloaded, for which we can give you guys more content if we got more resources. That's just how this shit works. With that being said, thank you. It's always a joy to be with you, Kiana. And hopefully we get you tomorrow. But I think today we irritated you a little bit too.
Y'all good. Y'all good. It's all good. It is all good. Peace, y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Later. Rise up.
Sometimes the riot is a quiet one. Well, the battle is to love yourself and function in society where voices of reason are muted by anxiety, like gaining notoriety is selling your soul. So we tend to go no deeper than the shallow water level, trying to keep us overhead in the face of all the slurs and the stares. Mentally frozen, paralyzed by fear of failure and success. So we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. All these towers and they're babbling, but the baby's in the bath and the stash under the bed on my head, spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings that they pull. Then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces winners on the field. Feeble and foolish, what tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. Real revolution, it's real solutions. Well, we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution. When my inner me really a mirror for the galaxy. New time, brand new paradigms, new contracts to sign. They thought that this would all be televised, though it's happening right before our very eyes. It's on the inside, with their guns cocked. When that rock drops, standing on the rooftop, praying that the mountaintop can live inside the valley. People tell me the reward is somewhere off in heaven, like heaven's only in the sky, like chariots are swinging, like God is something separate from yourself, from your wealth, from your lover, from your neighbor. Oh, your savior is coming in your own name, coming with the face the same. Real revolution, it's real solutions, where we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution, where my enemy is really a mirror for the galaxy.